You mentioned Ukraine there. You make another very valid point, and the best metaphor of this, that Australia didn't send Ukraine 70,000 tonnes of solar panels to aid their defence effort against Russia. They sent 70,000 tonnes of affordable and reliable Australian coal to power the fight. How dumb are we? I mean, at home we can't get advantage of this, but we're actually allowing the international world to take advantage of our resources.
Well, that's exactly right. It is dumb, Alan. That's the only word you can use to describe this, because, look, we're told by the political elites and the aficionados in big business and, the big lobby groups of the Business Council of Australia that, look, we need to cut our emissions in order to save the climate. But when you actually look at the details, it doesn't stack up. Why does it matter whether we use our coal in Australia or whether China or India or Indonesia use the coal? The impact in terms of emissions is exactly the same. All that's happening is we're exporting our jobs, exporting our sovereignty, jacking up our bills, but for no discernible environmental benefit. And that's before we even get into the reality that Australia only accounts for about 1.3 or 4% of total greenhouse gas emissions. This just doesn't stack up. It's all economic and social pain for no discernible environmental gain.
Absolutely. And you see, the point to be made here too is that the world are using our coal in brand new, high efficiency, low emission, coal-fired power stations to power their countries. Why can't we build just one Heli, high emission, high efficiency, low emission coal-fired power station?
Well, you're absolutely right. And we've got the coal to use it. The coal is right here for us. I mean, we are truly the lucky country. We don't need to be reliant on other nations, unlike so many other countries around the world do. And you're dead right about high efficiency, low emissions coal. We should be building many coal-fired power stations and keeping the existing ones open for as long as possible. Now, don't forget, the whole net zero is based on the fiction that renewables are cheaper than coal. It's just not true. Yes, when you have a grid that's stable, firm, what they call it in the energy game, meaning that the lights go on when you flick the switch. Yes, you can put wind and solar on top of that, but you cannot get reliable baseload power from wind and solar. No advanced economy has ever done it because it cannot be achieved. You need coal and you need nuclear, or you can use hydro.
Absolutely.
But wind and solar can't get the job done.
But just coming back, and to say to my viewers, this is Daniel Wild, who's the Research Director at the Institute of Public Affairs. Now, they are very, very thorough and have released a research paper today. Just cover those points again on the real costs of this net zero nonsense, quadrupling the wholesale electricity price, more than doubling the retail electricity bills. This is what we've got in front of us, and doubling the family's electricity bill. Who, apart from you and me and a couple of others, are telling Australians this?
Well, it's an important point, Alan. I mean, we just have to keep going and making the argument. I thought it was immensely disappointing when Scott Morrison signed the coalition up to net zero at the Glasgow Climate Conference last year, because what it meant is there's been no debate about this. The coalition were unable to hold Labor to account for their climate policy because they had essentially adopted the same one. So they got a free kick, and Australians aren't being told about the cost. But as you say, our research outlines exactly what net zero means for families and businesses in Australia, and it's not pretty. By 2030, we're going to have 6 coal stations closed, taking 20% of energy off our grid. Now, that's going to jack up prices by about 110% for families, about close to 400% for businesses, and that's right across the country. We analysed Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Tasmania, all of the economies and states that are on the national energy market, and the pain is going to be shared right around the nation. And the key point is this, and again, I come back to this because it's important. Those who are promoting the policy of net zero are not the ones that will incur its costs. It's not the well-off inner city elites. It's not your big business bureaucrats. It's not your political class. It's not your media elites. They're all fine. It's working class, mainstream Australians in the suburbs and the regions that are picking up the bill for a policy they don't even want.
Good on you. Marvellous stuff. Keep doing some wonderful work, Daniel. Always great to talk to you. We'll resume this next week on the principle that when you and I are getting sick of saying it, someone out there will start to hear it.